Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
Pop Culture Edition.
And if you're on YouTube, sorry our lighting changes literally every episode.
It's not my fault.
We can't get it right, man. And
This
it's
is
fall, so the sun's doing stupid shit.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I do the same setup every time. So the fact that my lighting is different today is not on me.
Mine is on me.
It's on Jesus. He changed the sun.
Mother Nature.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Woo.
Let's get it. All right. We have, I think, not as many small things as last time, but still, like, that's where we're living, I think, is in the small things. So first up, a contestant on The Masked Singer is speculated to be Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
The hints are, he says he's like a
scuba thing.
A scuba diver. And so the hints are like most hated creature under the sea. He says he's pumped for the competition, and he makes a reference to Cardinals, which is supposed to maybe hint at him being from St. Louis. I'm sure it is him.
Yeah.
With those hints. And I'm sure he would be so fucking down to be on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
But I think it's nuts to give him a platform right now. Like, absolutely insane. Like, I know that he was on, like, World's Toughest Test or whatever, but I think he was, like, already, like, in the works to be on there.
Yeah, plus on World's Toughest Test, like, it is often villains, because, like, that's part of it, is, like, they help them work through, like, being hated and stuff.
Right.
But also not giving him a musical platform. Come on now.
I know. Like, he is, like, eating that shit up. You know it. And I personally have never been remotely interested in The Masked Singer. I do see, like, the puzzling, like, aspect of it could be interesting, and sometimes I'll watch, like, the clips and, like, listen to the hints and try to figure it out, but, like, I don't think I could sit and watch it anyway. So I can't. And I feel like in the past they have had some, like, questionable people.
Yeah.
Like, people that weren't well liked. So I don't know, but that was fun. Speaking of Sandoval, for a while now, we're gonna be talking about him for a while.
Sandoval section.
Rachel Leviss posted an Instagram reel on her birthday, and she like, this is like her first like independent post, not a post with Bethany, since Scandival, and she just kind of like is like a video of her in like a greenhouse, and she's like made a comment about how she like loves the beauty of it and whatever. And Sandoval commented on it and said, "Happy birthday, Rachel. I really hope you're finding peace and happiness. Miss you, friend." And she immediately posted a screenshot of her blocking him on her story with a GIF that read, "Okay, bye."
Yeah.
Which, like, good for her.
Yeah.
And, like, we said this when we talked about the Bethany Frankel podcast, that if she can paint him to be a manipulator, then, like, she could get off a lot more easier from this.
Yeah.
So he then shaded her on a podcast for this. I think he also shaded her to paparazzi.
He did.
He called her thirsty and immature, which I think kind of the opposite in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I get what he's trying to say is that, like, she could have just blocked him and not posted it. She's, like, trying to, like, get people to be, like, I don't know, on her side for that. But I certainly don't think immature.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that, like,
fair.
And I think this goes along with the next thing I had, was that she changed her bio to healing era. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's kind of like what blocking him reflects, is like her trying to heal herself and like move on from this, and like recognize that like she does not need to be talking to him.
Yeah.
But you know, he's a gaslighter, so
yeah,
he's gonna say whatever is wrong. She also reopened her Instagram comments with this new post, most of which are actually pretty positive, it looks like. Now, how much of that involves her like deleting some, or like limiting comments, or like blocking certain words? You can do that on Instagram. But a lot of people were like, so glad you reopened your comments. And I think a lot of people were kind of echoing what I was just saying, that like, if he did manipulate her to the degree it seems he may have, then like, if she could just like own that, and let him take the fall for most of it, then like, I think people would be able to wrap their mind around it better and like move on from her being the primary villain. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of people were in agreement that like she was used and like taken advantage of.
Yeah, he did say more stuff to paparazzi. It started kind of how he always does. It started like, oh, I just really hope she's doing well, and I'm so glad she's working on herself. He did have to get a little dig in there that like, if she's choosing not to be on the show because that's what's best for her, well, also unless the money was right, which frankly, Tom, fair, right? That's what we all said when she was on Bethany Frankel's, is like, okay, you're saying you would never go back, you were so treated so wrong, but you kind of would have gone back if the money was right.
Right, but like, you were like petitioning, like you were going back and forth to get more money.
Yeah. He apparently also made a statement to people that I saw today that she has not taken accountability for her role in this, and that he was not the only one involved, and so like, essentially she needs to take full responsibility or full accountability for her side, which I just like, also, dude, like, let it go. Like, she's trying, like, even if she's being shady or whatever, like, she's not talking about it anymore. So, like, let it go.
Yeah. I think, especially, like, with what, like, Nick Viall said, I genuinely think that he is still in some way, like, trying to save his image. And, like, if he can, like, prove that this was legitimately love and that they, like, belong together, and he can like make a love story out of it, and like, or like at least like a story where they end as friends out of it, that it'll make him look better. But like everyone needs to just stop talking to each other.
Yeah. Billie Lee posted to her Instagram story about that fight that we saw break out at the finale event. She says that, so the guy who's like seen in those videos, she said that no one knew him, he was not invited. She says that he had started asking her questions, I guess earlier in the night, about her personal life, like why she doesn't use her last name, and that he knew where she was from. And she said like a lot of the things he was mentioning to her are things that she has purposely not made public. And so she like further said like, so I will not tell you what those things are on Instagram, which is fair. And then she basically, to like absolve Sandoval of like like, he didn't do this, he didn't start this. She also lets everyone know that it was a couple hours later when this guy starts charging at them, trying to throw things, and then attempted to pick up that chair, which we then see Sandoval pick up and security break up. So, I guess, like, we'll see it all unfold. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't like Billie Lee. And I just, like, for some reason, like, always feel inclined to believe that, like, she's either exaggerating. Like, I'm sure that this is true and verifiable. True enough and verifiable. But I always just feel like she's exaggerating. She's ass-kissing Tom. Even in these stories, she's still ass-kissing Tom. And, like, I'm sorry, I don't like to accuse people of this, but the clout chasing, dude, like, I just, eye roll.
She's big on clout chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see her, like, her Instagram post, and she, like, specified that the reason that these questions were, like, triggering and the reason she doesn't use her last name is because she previously had a stalker. And so she's, like, very careful and particular about, like, her personal information, which I think everyone should be, you know.
Yeah, if you're on TV.
Don't be telling random people your last name if they don't need to know you. But I also wonder if, one, maybe she's a little more, like, on edge about it.
Yeah.
And so maybe not, like, intentionally exaggerating, but maybe she's, like, more worried about it than she needs to be because of, like, things that have happened in the past.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I also, like, I don't know what I was gonna say. But I think we'll see it, but, yeah, I doubt that they'll care enough about the Billie Lee part.
Right. Although apparently she's, like, gonna be a bit of a mainstay, like, friend this season because, like, who else is gonna film with Tom?
Who else is gonna... Exactly.
Yeah. On to the VMAs. To no one's surprise, Taylor Swift swept. She won 9 out of the 11 awards that she was nominated for. The audience camera at the show pretty much stayed on her, like, the whole time, as she got drunky and really seemed to just be having the time of her life. I will also add, it does seem that she gave a notable size cheer for Olivia Rodrigo.
I agree.
Everyone was, like, watching the video. She's not clapping, not cheering, not clapping, not cheering. They say Olivia Rodrigo's name. She, like, perks up. So, just a thought there. Her dress was giving obvious reputation. It was gorgy, killing it. Her after party dress was a blue denim, which I actually saw today. Sabrina Carpenter has worn that exact dress. So they're little besties now. But I originally thought that was just kind of like a stylish way to nod to 1989. People have been loving denim lately. 1989 is light blue. But people feel, although I've now seen mixed reviews, but at first people were feeling certain that that is her hinting at the next 2 re-records, that the black was the reputation and denim is the debut look. And I do think, like, that's her pattern. She usually hints at, like, the next 2. Like, people had said, like, when she announced Speak Now, she started wearing 1989 and Reputation stuff. And, like, the I Can See You video has, like, 1989 and Reputation hints. And so now she's announced 1989. We're moving on. But, yeah, I loved that denim dress. Yeah. So cute.
Yeah, it is cute. Have you heard this theory that she's not going to re-record Debut?
No. That's stupid. I don't know. I mean, all I've heard is, like, I mean, this is, like, complete speculation, but all I've heard is people saying, like, she saved the last 2 so that she gets to claim or get back her reputation and then her name Like, that's why she's doing those two at the end, and that's why she's doing debut last. But that would be dumb.
I've seen people saying that she, like, doesn't really hint at debut ever. And so they're like, maybe she's like trying to get us to not think about it. And then I've seen people saying that, like, they, like, just in general, that they don't think she will. I think that it's, like, purely based on the fact that she doesn't give a lot of hints about.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what the other thing was. That it's not in the era set list.
Yes. I was gonna say, anywhere. What if we're just completely missing Easter eggs that point to when something's not gonna happen? It's not on the set list. Maybe that is her way of just saying, like, it's not coming.
Right, like, that's what people are saying, is, like, she really does not want us to be thinking about debut because she is not going to do debut and she doesn't know how to say it.
Yeah. Have you seen in the Eras Tour film trailer that they have, like, they go through and they put, like, the words on the screen? We go through all 10 eras, and then it says, like, Reputation, and they put on the screen, like, self-titled. And everyone's like, are y'all joking? Like, you didn't even do that. Like, now you're advertising it in the film when, like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I would be pissed.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to hear debut songs in her 33-year-old voice.
Yes. I hope to God.
Yeah. Almost more than any other. Like,
yeah.
Reputation, I want vault songs? Yeah, I do. But, like, she doesn't sound that different than she did in Reputation.
Right. Like, I heard a clip. I've heard Delicate from Taylor's version. And then today I heard a clip of Look What You Made Me Do, Taylor's version. And I was like,
where are you hearing these?
Delicate was in Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah.
And then the other one I saw on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And it was good, but, like, it really sounded the same.
Yeah. The Winter House Season 3 cast was announced. Look, I love Winter House. I just, like...
I'm excited to start it after I finish Summer House.
It's just so fun, and it's, like, so random every time. It is now apparently going to be chock full of Bravo celebrities. Season 3 will take place in Colorado. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I feel like we should have seen it coming with, like, the girls' trip shows that have been coming out and stuff. But, like, typically it was still just, like, the Summer House people, and then they would bring their friends. And so it wasn't, like, I don't know. And then, like, obviously Austin and Craig would come because they were, like, their friends. And the Toms would come because they were their friends. But it's like, this is literally just Bravo celebrities. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, from Summer House, we have Amanda, Kyle, and Danielle. Corey will be back from last season of Winter House. Obviously, he was also a guest in the most recent Summer House.
I like him.
Yeah, I do too. A newbie named Cassie, who seems to be the only one who is not on a Bravo show. So I'm guessing she is just somebody's friend. Don't know who yet.
Okay.
Did I say Cassie? Casey. Her name's Casey.
You did.
Okay. Casey.
I was like, that's an interesting way to spell Cassie.
No, her name's Casey. A newbie named Casey. Tom Schwartz is a cast member instead of just coming as a guest as he normally does. I'm very, like, freaked out that he's doing it alone, but, like, this was the whole thing about Tom Sandoval that she said, like, he's waiting to tell me he cheated on me until he can film Winter House. So I just guess, like, that either got taken from him or he was like, I got a little too much going on right now.
Yeah.
Won't be there. But I wonder if he'll still be a guest.
I would love to see a Tom Schwartz redemption arc.
Well, he's going to have a love interest from Below Deck.
I was going to say, I would like to see him find love and be nice to her.
We'll get there. So from Family Karma, someone named Brian Binney. I've never seen that. I actually looked it up to be like, this must be brand new. Nope, it's got 3 seasons. I ain't never heard of that. Jordan from Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I liked her. I only watched like 4 episodes of Martha's Vineyard, but all the guys wanted Jordan, so. Below Deck stars Katie, Alex, and Malia. Is that right? Will be joining. Katie, ironically, will be Tom Schwartz's love interest. I don't know.
I was expecting it to be Malia.
I don't know for how long or like if it's serious. They say they flirt. So
I really like her. She had dated a guy that was on Below Deck for a while. Not on the season. They were on 2 separate seasons, and she was like, I dated Jack that was on a couple seasons ago. I really like her. She's like a chief stew, so she's very put together.
Good. Well, she shouldn't talk to Tom Schwartz then, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That makes me sad.
Yeah. And then there will be visits throughout the trip with other Bravo friends, like Corey's girlfriend, Sam. Will visit. I don't know who all else, but it'll be fun. It'll be actually really the first one without Paige. I just realized that.
I know.
Sad.
Last little thing. It's like a crossover moment for us between pop culture and true crime editions. Last week in our true crime edition, in our real-time true crime, we talked about how Danny Masterson was found guilty and sentenced to a very long time in prison, and that multiple of that 70s Show co-stars wrote letters on his behalf, including Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. Also, the people who play Red and Kitty wrote letters. Topher Grace was very public about the fact that he did not write a letter and wouldn't, which is lovely. Love that for him. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher have now come out with an apology video explaining that they stand with victims and always have, and that basically we shouldn't be questioning them because we've seen them work with sex trafficking victims, so obviously they wouldn't do this in a harmful way.
Yeah.
Which, doing it at all.
Yeah.
It's a harmful way. They explained that Danny Masterson's parents reached out to them and asked them to do this. Some people are, like, trying to take the video apart and kind of, like, figure out what's really going on, and people are speculating that, like, Danny Masterson's parents did not ask them to do this, but forced them to do it. I don't know what they could do to make Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis feel forced to write those letters.
Is Ashton Kutcher a Scientologist too?
I don't think so.
I mean, that's how they kept victims silent most of this time, is the Church of Scientology. So I just don't know if...
I don't think he is.
Okay.
If he is, I haven't heard that before.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. They said that, like, the way that they're talking and, like, the way that Mila keeps looking at him is, like, odd.
Yeah.
But I think that it seems like those two have enough autonomy that they could decide whether or not they want to do that.
Yeah. So, Danny Masterson's ex-girlfriend and also one of his victims posted on her story something that I want to read you. So she said, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets that your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. Then she says, Dear Mila, I pray you begin to process what you experienced as a child on that set. Your old interviews are very telling. I encourage everyone to watch them and decide for yourself when you hear and see, and do so before they get scrubbed from the internet. I also know what happened in Toronto and after. Question, if that's what you view as a normal relationship with a big brother figure, then I feel very sad for you, and I hope you consider getting into therapy. You all must forget that I was there the whole time, the first 5 years of that 70s show. I remember everything. She then posted, Ashton and Danny always treated Topher badly. Topher has never liked Danny. I learned this while doing my early reporting on the then allegation. Oh, that was someone else that posted it. She reposted it. So she said Topher was bullied by Danny Masterson and isolated by most of the cast because Danny is like a cult leader. He hated Topher because Topher didn't bow to Danny like his other young castmates. So, the tea is being spilt.
Yeah. Well, that was my one hang up, I guess, with were they forced or were they asked, was I think the only way they could be forced is if there is something that Danny Masterson's parents know that they don't want other people to know.
Well, and his parents may not have known. He may have said to them then, we need to get these letters, and these are the people who I have shit against. Tell them, do it. Or, honestly, do you even need a threat? If Ashton Kutcher, if it's something that could end him, he doesn't need a threat. He knows. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the indication is that Danny Masterson did act sexually inappropriate with Mila Kunis, but she viewed him as a big brother figure. I also had not read, the actual, testimonies and things, and, it's horrific.
Yeah.
Not that it wouldn't have been horrific, but, this is, I didn't realize he, utilized guns to, it's armed. This is a different crime. Armed sexual assault. So.
Yeah.
Back to some not so awful. Well, still awful, but not quite.
Yeah. So our first, big topic is Carl and Lindsay. Now that some official statements have come out, they have, officially confirmed themselves what's going on. They officially called off their wedding this week, which apparently wasn't a given when they called off their engagement. But, okay. Carl issued an official statement to People magazine stating, quote, "Words cannot possibly express how difficult the last 2 weeks have been for Lindsay and I. We are so incredibly sorry to all of our guests for the confusion and lack of communication. We were left trying to figure out how all this exactly happened before we could even have the opportunity to determine the path forward amongst ourselves. There have been a lot of false narratives and misunderstandings that have made this all the more painful, but sadly at this time we are not moving forward with the wedding. The fact of the matter is Lindsay is devastated and I'm crushed with how this all transpired. I graciously ask for some patience and grace to heal and recover while we navigate this extremely difficult time. Our guest's commitment of money and time was already a lot. I don't take this lightly. We are super grateful for the love and support you have shown us, and will do what I can to help with any costs associated with changing plans. I'm sorry again this has become such a mess. Thank you for your unconditional love and support during this tough time. We will be in touch with further updates. With love, Carl."
Super inappropriate to even end it with "we will be in touch with future updates."
Yeah.
Aren't. If you want to say, we are sorry and, we are grateful for your love, but, you in the future are not a we.
No.
What?
Lindsay's people put out a statement pretty quickly after that she did not agree or know he was making that statement, and that it just kind of, hurt her all over again. Some specific parts of this stood out to me, so I'm going to read you the parts that I found the most interesting and why, as I dissected. So he said, "We are so incredibly sorry to all of our guests."
Mm-hmm.
We?
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay's not sorry, I don't think, because she did not do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We were left trying to figure out how all this exactly happened.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like how it broke, like how you broke up, how your relationship deteriorated, like
Right. Like,
all it
I
could.
don't understand.
Yeah.
It seems, everything we've heard, it seems pretty cut and dry.
Well, like, sure, if you're saying like we just really, like if you're speaking almost proverbially, like we just don't really know where we went wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing, but it's like how
It's a weird way to say it.
this exactly happened is you broke up and
Right.
you called off your wedding. That's how.
Yeah.
And you did. So what?
Yeah. Where he says, "The fact of the matter is Lindsay is devastated and I'm crushed with how all this transpired." So Lindsay is devastated by the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, first of all, you don't get to say that.
You are how this transpired.
Right. You don't get to say that Lindsay is devastated, like, as like on her behalf. You don't get to speak for her anymore.
Yeah.
Secondly, like, you're only upset about how it went down.
Yeah. I thought that, like,
And you're admitting that?
Even when we didn't know that she had not approved this statement,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was super weird because I was like, why wouldn't you say we are devastated?
Right.
Why is it so hard? That almost feels like Tom Sandoval, like it feels like a purposeful dig.
Yes.
To be like,
it feels like shady.
I'm not like heartbroken or anything. She really is.
Yeah. It's
like trying to win the breakup.
Someone for.
Yeah.
Because it like makes you look worse. To be like, well, Lindsay's devastated. Like, oh, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Lindsay's devastated. Like, yeah, that of course she is, weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you saying it like that? And the last part was that he said, "We are super grateful and will do what I can to help you with any costs associated with changing plans." Because one, the point I'm at in Summer House, it seems like things are not going well for his job. And two, it like in one sentence went from like a joint apology to like being like, "And I'm going to have to pay for all of this."
Well, it's like his PR or representative or whoever said, you can't say we will help with costs because you can't say that on Lindsay's behalf. So you can
everything else apparently you can say on her behalf.
Yeah, but if you're gonna offer to pay for stuff, you can only say you. You can only speak for yourself.
Right. So there were a few, the statement was odd to me in general. Like, I truly don't think I've ever seen a statement that I'm just, like, confused by in that way. Like, there have been statements that I'm mad at or that I, like, don't agree with, but, like, that one was just strange to me.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like I'm in a different world with this because I just got to season 7, or I'm actually near the end now of season 7 of Summer House, which is the season in which Carl and Lindsay officially are a couple in the house, and the season in which they get engaged. So I am like watching them get together, and knowing that they have now broken up, and trying to like figure out how I feel about their relationship. So on one hand, I do not see what could have possibly gone wrong because they do seem so fully invested in the relationship. And like, I know that Lindsay is a lot. And like, I've seen in her past relationships where she has been like very negative about things, and I'm seeing it again now. But early in the relationship, she did seem like so different about Carl. Like, she knew something was different with him and something was clicking with him that hadn't before. So I felt like and I think she like kind of brings it up in her statement. I felt like if they had issues, they'd be able to work it out. Like that they were both very like committed to this and like sure about it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, in this season, there are several concerns raised about how quickly everything is going and how, specifically from Kyle, how Carl seems different now. And I do agree. I think he does seem different, but I saw him become different around the time when he got sober. So I don't know if as he continues with his sobriety and is sober for longer, does that continue to change his like level of maturity and the way he acts? Is he just growing and like fed up with getting drunk with Kyle every weekend? Or is it because of Lindsay that he really is like kind of shutting people out? Like, is it because he's like, these people are ridiculous?
Yeah.
I got better shit to do. Or is he like, nobody likes my girlfriend and she doesn't want me to talk to them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, it's both. I think, so, like, I found, okay, I don't like, there are people I like and don't like, but I'm just going to try to speak objectively. I found Kyle to be really annoying that season because he seemed really only mad about Loverboy and, like, that Carl would, like, consider leaving or changing his work at Loverboy, and that, like, Lindsay must be in his ear. But I think that, like, if your husband comes home every night, your boyfriend, fiance, whatever, complaining about his job, it is the natural thing to do to encourage them to either leave or to ask for some changes to be made. So I don't think that that's, like, Lindsay in his ear. I think that's her being a supportive girlfriend. I also think that, like, he's getting up for Barry's boot camp. He's like, why would he stay up late? He like it is different. But ultimately, we have to remember, like, Summer House is a job, and so maybe he wouldn't come out if he was sober and not on a TV show. But he's here to make a show. I also think, though, that yes, he was just changing. In the latest season of Winter House, he talks about how he like runs a tight ship. And so it, like, wasn't clean enough for him. But I do think his maturity really just turned into, like, him being boring. Like, we've seen people be sober on Bravo, but Lala still entertains the hell out of us.
Right.
And so
I agree.
I actually feel like we don't know Carl at all anymore. And everyone keeps saying, like, Carl never changed. He's still a fuckboy. Like, he's exactly the same. We were fooled. And I almost think the opposite. I think he has become...
He definitely did change.
But I think he has become such a stick in the mud that this is just work for him. I think that is why that is why you break up on camera. We talked about, like, apparently he maybe had, like, a business deal with the hotel, which is why he waited till people couldn't get their money back. And so I don't know, and I know we haven't seen this season, so it could totally turn everything, I think, on its head. But I just feel like he's reached a point where, like, he's just like, I'm gonna make money off of this, and, like, I'm gonna be successful. Not like I'm here to have fun with my friends. Like, I'm here to make a living out of this. And you haven't seen this yet, but at the reunion for season 7, Paige will say to Carl and Lindsay, I don't know how the fuck y'all are doing that because y'all don't have jobs. So, I don't know what their job situations are now, but, like...
Right. That's what I'm saying, is, like, I had heard that he did not have a job by the time the reunion rolled around, so I was like, don't be making promises about paying people back. If you can't do it.
Maybe that hotel deal was...
I feel like his mom must be so heartbroken. Like, she loved Lindsay so much. Another thing I've always wondered about, like, because I'm just now watching Summer House, and I knew that Carl and Lindsay were engaged, in the episode where Carl finds out that his brother died, my immediate thought was, oh my god, now he's engaged to someone whose birthday is the anniversary of his brother's death.
Yep.
And I've always wondered, like, how difficult it would be to have a life partner who, like, whose birthday is that date. Like, obviously I don't think it's enough to break off an engagement. Or, like, to even really affect the relationship. But I've always wondered, like, and we saw a little bit of it in season 7, because she, like, when she sees Carl's mom at her birthday party, their housewarming party, she's like, I know today must have been hard, like, and his mom was like, it's just been weird, but, like, I'm here to be celebrating you and stuff. And so, like, I've just always wondered, like, how hard it is on both of them.
Yeah.
To have to, like, navigate mourning and celebrating. And I feel like they would each want to do, like, kind of the opposite of what they would normally do for that day. Like, I feel like Lindsay would be more into mourning.
Yeah.
And Carl would be more into celebrating, to kind of, like, lean on each other.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of, like, wondered about that. Not that I think that has anything to do with it. I just watched that episode, so I was, like, thinking about it. But yeah, I feel like she has such a good relationship with his mom, and I feel like he has such a good relationship with her aunt and her dad. And so, like, I feel like this is hard on everyone. But apparently not Carl, because only Lindsay is devastated.
Yeah. Also, Craig, messy Craig, he has said that when everyone sees this season, it'll make a lot more sense that they did have quite a tumultuous summer. Additionally, Lindsay's official statement came out this week. So she said, the last 2 weeks have been the most heartbreaking and emotional weeks of my life. My entire life and future was ripped out from underneath me, and I've had a hard time making sense of it all, with no answers or closure on why. I feel humiliated by how it went down, and simultaneously heartbroken that it happened in the first place. My trust has been betrayed, and coming to terms with that has been difficult for me. This was not my decision, and I do not agree with quitting a relationship at this level without trying everything possible first. Which I feel like means he did not get someone else pregnant, or else she probably would have chosen to quit this relationship.
Yeah.
So.
I agree, and I think it sounds like kind of in line with what Craig is hinting at, that they were just having, like, a rough patch this summer, which I think, to Lindsay's point, we watched Kyle and Amanda go through the exact same tumultuous summer.
And he did fuck someone else. Or
yeah.
So
before, yeah, but the summer that they got married,
yeah,
I texted you because I just watched that season, and I said I'm having trouble understanding how they got married at the end of this season. I will say, married Kyle is so far my favorite version of Kyle. And how he treats Amanda, like, it's like night and day. Like, watching them talk about, like, their fertility stuff, and, like, watching him, like, cry, like, going over her symptoms with her, like, I just feel like he's in a whole new world, like, knowing that he has a wife and that they will want to have kids and things like that.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad that they did get married, but watching them get up to it that summer, I was like, Jesus Christ, like, I would have walked away so many fucking times at this point.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like, to Lindsay's point, at this stage in a relationship, when you are months away from getting married, yes, if you're sure that you shouldn't be with that person, you need to, like, get out now. Knowing that your wedding's only a couple months away, like, yes, on one hand, if you're sure that you don't need to be with that person, that is the time to get out before there's a divorce papers and children and whatever involved. But on the other hand, you do have to understand that, like, this is going to cause more stress than your normal level planning a wedding. And I imagine, especially planning a wedding that like might be televised in another country that's probably out the ass expensive when neither of you have jobs, evidently, and like there's been all this drama surrounding it in the first place. It probably is very stressful. So like I think if she's saying that they did not try everything possible to reconcile and get back to where they were to be healthy going into this marriage, then I think it's fair for her to say that she wishes more had been done.
Yeah.
And like, especially because like in my opinion, an engagement is also a commitment.
Right.
Like you don't break up the same way that you would if y'all were just dating. And so like calling it off when the other person isn't ready for it, I think is not how you're supposed to go about it.
Yeah, and I think yes, if you are sure you shouldn't be with someone, then you should not go through with a legally binding commitment. And I agree with that, but I also think that's where this like massive betrayal comes in, because then he should have come to her and said like, I maybe still want to marry you, but I don't want to go into our marriage in the state we're in. So do you think we should wait? Or I was sure I wanted to marry you, but I'm getting nervous, so I don't think we should. But like, this is where you lose me, is that like 2 months before your wedding and you decide that it should be like a surprise conversation on camera. And so it's like, yeah, if you're struggling and you want to go to each other and say like, wait, are we like, should we really be doing this? Like, we're fighting all the time. Like, let's postpone, or let's not do this, or whatever. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I think you don't propose to someone. And I think that's where she's at, is that like, you must have been lying to me. If you could have been with me all summer, you proposed to me, you did wedding showers with me, we did bachelor and bachelorette stuff, we celebrated our wedding, we did all this stuff, we have gifts, we booked things, like, you're doing all that, and then you're not even coming to me questioning if we should be together. You are coming to me certain. You are coming to me done. By the time he has come to her, it's a decision he's already made. So, like, yeah, the person that, like, you are going to spend the rest of your life with, to know that they've already come to 100% of a decision and you had no clue they were even thinking about it. And, like, to Craig's point, maybe she had a clue if they've been fighting a lot, but, like, those aren't the same things. And, and I think
when you're engaged to be married to someone, fighting with them consistently is not like supposed to be the end all be all of your relationship.
Yeah.
I like I would never, and I don't think almost any married people would ever just up and like serve their partner with divorce papers without a like conversation. And like maybe you go into the conversation and you're like, this is how the outcome is going to be, but like without a heads up and like coming to a mutual agreement about it. And I feel like it should be similar with ending an engagement, that like this should have been a lengthier conversation, and one that was had privately, and that Lindsay could see where he was coming from. And maybe she doesn't want it in the engagement, but at least she would know why, and would be like, have to accept it.
Yeah.
Not just like get dumped on TV.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
All right, on to even crazier shit.
Yeah. What the fuck happened on Big Brother this week? I didn't watch last night because I had just caught up on Wednesday's episode, and so then I have Hulu live, and so I couldn't get it to like play after the live episode had ended. And my husband was like, I don't want to give you any spoilers, and I was like, oh, I don't care, because I was like, I know what happened. I didn't. And now I'm mad. But for those of you who aren't watching and just are listening to our commentary on Big Brother, I will start from the beginning for you. Unfortunately, Cameron, he is HOH. And also, unfortunately, he's actually like, playing a really good game. Like, if he wasn't a predator, like, he could be like a Dan.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, he's doing what you're supposed to do in Big Brother. He convinces everyone in the house, including Jag and Blue themselves, that he is putting Jag and Blue on the block. And then the Humillaverse allows him to pie all of the safe house guests, and he reveals that his targets are Izzy and Felicia. Because they turned against their own alliance. He then says in like the diary room that his main target is actually Cirie, because she seems to be like the president of their whole like situation, but that he wants to kind of chip away at her slowly. Because he basically wants to like emotionally deteriorate her by taking away people she cares about until she's not like willing to play anymore. Everyone is pissed at the fact that he gets to like elongate and like relish in this moment. My favorite part of the nomination ceremony was when Felicia took her tooth out because she thought she was about to get pied. And then when he didn't pie her and she realized that she was going to be one of the nominees, and she put her tooth back in.
Yeah,
that cracked me up.
Yeah. Yeah, along with like also, Blue not being prepared to get pied.
She was like, wait.
Yeah, she literally said, these are the only lashes I have.
On last night's episode, there was like a part where Felicia was just popping her tooth in and out with her tongue. And I was like, if I had a fake tooth, I would be doing that all the time.
Yeah.
I would not be able to stop myself.
Yeah.
I figured out that that if I like move my tongue like in my cheek a certain way, it makes a popping noise, and I do it all the time now. Like I would love popping my tooth in and out. But yeah, so he puts up Izzy and Felicia.
Yeah, strangely, like, I just, like, the fact that everyone wanted Cam and then was, like, so sad that Cam won, and then he puts up Izzy and Felicia and the house actually seemed, like, on board with the noms. I was like, what? Like, some of them were, like, very excited, like America. Then
What?
I was about to say Jizzy.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was like, oh no.
But, oh god, I gotta breathe. But Jared, Izzy, and Cirie, obviously they're not thrilled, but they seem like they're feeling okay. They have been feeling lately like Felicia's a loose cannon, so Cirie actually said, like, this is something I'm not going to be able to do, is get Felicia out, so, like, cool. If they want to do that, that's fine. All the way to the point that Izzy said that if she had won the veto, she would have kept herself on the block. What?
Yeah. Yeah. And we had seen, like, that they were already thinking that because Felicia had kind of been, like, saying whatever she wanted. And so I think that it seemed to kind of, like, fall into their laps. Like, this is a perfect way to get her out and, like, keep ourselves, like, safe from the harm she's causing.
Yeah.
Without getting blood on our hands.
Right. Yeah, I do think Cameron's playing a good game. I don't think he's doing anything strategically that's, like, out of the question. But he's being, like, so unreasonably cruel. It's giving, like, I want to watch my victims suffer before I kill them. Because he's like, I just, like, want to create as much mayhem. Like, he was literally like, I would put Cirie up, but still not vote her out. I just want her to have to sit next to Izzy when she leaves. And it's like, then what would be the point of now, like, people on Big Brother always say, like, Why would I want to nominate more people, get more blood on my hands if I don't have to? So it's like, why would you want to have your noms changed and have to put up Sari just to do the same thing anyway?
Right.
But it's like literally he just wants to see them freak out.
Yeah. And I think that if that alone were like the extent to him being like terrible, that I could live with it, because like I was watching like a video back of Dan's season where he made them play veto, like nominee roulette.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck was wrong with Dan? Like, what the hell is happening? But like, Cameron does legitimately give serial killer vibes because of how he's like treating people in the house. So there's like a video circulating that I personally find extremely disturbing, and I don't think enough other people find it extremely disturbing. But Cameron is talking to Izzy, and he's like physically seems very uncomfortable. Like he's like kind of like rocking, he's like hunched in on himself, and he's telling Izzy that he is really confused about his feelings for some woman in the house. I don't know who it is.
Some her.
I assume America or Blue, but I don't know.
Or even I saw on a like description of that video that he was talking about Riley, but I don't know.
Maybe it was earlier in the season. Yeah. But he's saying that whoever she is reminds him of his daughter, and that because of that he is really freaking out.
I'm weird about the way that I feel because she reminds me of my kid.
But you know what?
Fucking weird.
But you know what? Like, maybe I'm a cold ass bitch, but I don't care.
But it's not my...
I don't care.
Yeah.
Which, like, here's the thing.
Call the police, someone.
Yes, I think that with, like, the creepy stuff we've seen so far that he said to, like, America and Blue, like, I was like, oh, he's gonna get, like, the fight of his life when he comes home, and his wife is like, what the fuck were you saying in that house? Now I'm like, he needs to come home to an empty house.
I don't think he's married.
His wife needs to round his kids up and take them.
I don't think they're married.
Well, whoever.
But yeah.
I looked him up. I looked up, is Cameron married? And it said, yes, his wife's name is blah, blah, blah. They have the same last name.
Okay.
They've been married for this many years. They have this many kids.
Yeah.
So, I think he is married.
Yeah. He is, you're right.
So
for some reason, I was not getting those vibes, but...
That he's married?
Yeah! I mean, I knew he had kids, but I had thought he had said, like, single. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah.
But
someone.
Yeah, it freaked me out that he said that, and that wasn't, like, the purpose of the video being posted. Like, people were like, oh my god, haha, Izzy's a savage, because Izzy is like, listen. I do not care. I genuinely do not care that you're worried.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my god, haha, I love Izzy. She, like, says it how it is. Which is, like, yeah, great. I love that she's, like, telling him she doesn't care about him. But, like, let's roll back to the root of the evil. Like, what the fuck did he just say? And then... yeah, so that, I find that video, like, extremely worrisome. Yeah, it makes me, like, nauseous if I think about it too much, like, that he's gonna go back home to that family. And then there's another clip that's circulating right now about Cameron, but he's not actually in it, in which Lizzie is, like, boo-hooing to Felicia about how much she hates Cameron. She's like, I hate him. Like, I hate him so much. And Felicia keeps telling her, like, not to say the word hate. Like, no, you don't hate him. You're just frustrated. And Izzy's like, no, you don't understand. I hate him. Like, I hate him so much. And, like, she says it again this week, like, and I think that I think one hand, I'm so glad that there are legitimate Big Brother fans in the house this year, because I think that like the way that Izzy is reacting to like Jared and Cameron and the things that they're saying is exactly how we as viewers react when we see like these videos circulating, but she's like saying it to their faces. And I think that's lovely. Moving on for a second to some happier news. Jag and Matt are giving very much Zach and Frankie Grande vibes.
Yeah.
Texting each other, flirting.
Yeah. I just like, does Jag know that Matt quotes Andrew Tate?
Right. And I think that's why it reminded me of Zach and Frankie, is because I don't know what Jag's sexuality is. But so with Zach and Frankie, we knew that it was very one-sided.
Yeah.
It looked like it could have been more than one-sided, and I think that's why people were like into it, because they were like hopeful. But Zach was very clear that he was straight and that that's not where it was going. And so that's kind of why it reminded me of that, because like I don't know what Jag's sexuality is, but I wonder if they do view it differently, like if Jag would be down to like get into a relationship with Matt if the opportunity arose, or vice versa. I assume not vice versa because of the Andrew Tate stuff, but you never know. Or if it's like just silly for both of them and they both just think it's so funny.
Yeah.
But that's why I was thinking like Zach and Frankie, is because I wonder if one of them is taking it more seriously than the other.
Yeah. I think they both think it's silly, but
I do too. It's so cute though. It's fun.
Yeah, except I just hate Matt, but
yeah.
I was also starting to wonder, do we know what Matt's level of hearing is? Like, I think originally I assumed he had like no hearing. But I'm starting to feel like he can hear a little bit.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, because during the scene where they were like pretending to text on their mics, like it didn't, and like I don't know if it's like the camera work or what, but it didn't seem like Matt was looking at Jag's face before he responded and like responded appropriately. And so then I was like, wait, can he hear like some of the things he's saying?
Yeah. Jag was like looking down, but also has that huge beard, so I'm like,
yeah,
how easy is it to read Jag's lips? But yeah, that's the exact scene that made me think that
Matt was also looking down.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, but Jag doesn't need to read his lips, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, is he like he's not looking at? Yeah. It was cute though. Jared won the POV this week. He initially intended to use it to take Felicia off the block, but for some unknown reason, Cameron like legitimately trusts Jared and told him about his plan to backdoor Cirie, so Jared chose not to use the veto in order to keep his mom safe, stating that she is his priority final two.
Well, what's weird is what Cameron actually said was, I want to put Cirie up, but I still want to vote Izzy out.
Yeah.
And
Jared's just not going to let his mom touch the block if he can avoid it.
Well, also he shouldn't trust Cameron, but I'm saying like it wasn't even a backdoor plan. Like, it's so stupid. And so then Jared says to him, like, I think if Cirie's on the block, people are going to vote Cirie out. Which is, like, true also. Like, why wouldn't you vote Cirie out between her and Izzy? So, I mean, I think it was kind of, like, a good play for Jared at the time to say, like, it's not that I would have a problem with Cirie going up, but, like, if you want Izzy out, like, that's not really the way to do it.
Yeah. Have you seen the video circulating where people in the house do now know that Cirie is Jared's mom?
No.
I don't know how they found out, but Corey and I think Jag found out, and they told Matt. And so they're like kind of like trusting people with it and like using it to like get people to not trust Jared.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Cameron is not one of those people.
He will be.
But
he'll find
he
out.
will know. Everyone's gonna know eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jared, a couple of things circulating about him online this week. First, and I can't remember if we mentioned this last week or not, but Jared and Blue are allegedly both in a relationship outside of the house and are bringing up concerns about how their original partners will react to their showmance. And I think Jared's is more serious because they mention his girlfriend more often than whoever Blue is dating.
Mm-hmm.
And Sari has also talked about it with him, like saying that like his girlfriend's gonna be mad at him. So like she knows her.
Yeah. Yeah, he tells her he loves her to the camera all the time. I read online that they've been together for 7 years.
Yeah. He was upset during his HOH that his girlfriend, I think her name is Kinsey, had not written him a letter. And Sari was like, duh.
She actually said...
She said, you think she's going to write you a letter with this?
Well, she said the show's probably doing you a favor by, like, not having her write you a letter, because that's going to look worse.
Yeah.
Which is true. Like, what's he going to do? Read his love letter out loud with Blue sitting in the room?
Right.
Awkward.
I mean, she knows he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who wants to sit there, like, while everyone in the room knows they've been fucking, like, who wants to sit there and, like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Also, Blue is still not totally sure who Jared's mom is, so she just follows both Sari and Felicia around like a lost puppy to try to bond with them. Which, like, I think is funny. But also, at first, I was like, if Jared had, like, a serious girlfriend, like, wouldn't Sari, like, pull him aside and be like, stop fucking other people? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
She obviously hasn't.
I mean, he's 25.
She's, like, said things to him. Yeah, she's always, like, said things like, well, no, yeah, your girlfriend's pissed at you because you're fucking somebody.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if I were Blue and I knew that I was fucking someone who has a girlfriend at home and that their mom was in the house, I don't know that I don't know. I feel like, one, I probably wouldn't continue that relationship in the first place because that's just a lot going on. But, like, also, like, part of me wonders, like, is Sari going to, like, is Blue hanging out with her really going to make her feel like, oh, I love her. Mm-hmm. She's so sweet. Like, she's the best. Because you know he has a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend, and you know his mom knows his long-term girlfriend. Like, she probably has a little bit of loyalty to her. Not as much as her son, but, like, more than you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion. Also, live streams caught their first official fight this week, where the cameras panned to the fish, which also involved Jared. I couldn't totally tell what the fight was about, but essentially Corey and Jag confronted Jared in front of several other house guests because Jared had told Corey that Jag had said something about a vote that he didn't say. And Corey was, like, screaming at Jared about how he, like, got caught in a lie and how he's, like, letting it spiral, like, trying to save himself, that he's making stuff up about people, and that, like, he's like, you thought that you could do blah, 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 and, like, you thought you were gonna get away with blah, 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 and, like, he's just, like, screaming at him.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole house kind of, like, joins at one point. I've also seen, and I didn't fully watch it, but that there was a part of the fight, and the comments about it were saying, like, Jared is taking advantage of Matt's disability in some way during the fight, where, like, he was kind of excluding Matt so that he couldn't be privy to it, which again rolls me back to, like, the question of what level is Matt's hearing loss. Is he completely deaf? I don't know.
Yeah,
because if Jared was able to, like, just make it to where Matt couldn't see him,
mm-hmm.
then, like, and that was totally a disadvantage for him, like, that would make me think again that he is completely deaf.
Yeah, I had this later, but so I saw a screaming fight between Corey and Jared with other people in the room, but it looked like they were in the have-not room, or at least like a bedroom. So I don't know if it's the one you're thinking of. Yeah. But Corey told Jared, apparently, about his brother being on Survivor, thinking Jared was his boy, and then Jared told Blue, and it got out. So it's actually so crazy to me the way that people trust Jared, and they're gonna figure out in the end that, like, he's not just, I mean, not to be a Jared apologist, but, like, he's not just working with Cirie, but, like, it'll make more sense to them when they realize, like, why he's been so undyingly loyal to that side.
Yeah.
But in that fight, it seems, so first of all, I heard that Matt has told people he feels Jared takes advantage of him due to his disability. So that is something Matt feels aware of. But in the fight, Jared says, he points at Matt and he says, "Oh, well then you must have misunderstood what I said." Trying to get out of whatever had just gotten back to Corey and Jag. And
so not like he was taking advantage in the middle of the fight, but he was, like, using Matt's disability as, like, leverage for, like, that's not what I did.
It was in the middle of the fight, yeah, but it was
but I just mean, like, not like he's like, Matt's not gonna be able to hear what I'm saying in this fight.
Yeah. He said, like, well, man, like, I bet you just misunderstood what I said. And Bowie, Corey, and Jag all went, "Oh, no. And, like, their volume, like, raised above Jared to just be like, we're not doing that. So, yeah.
You're trying to fucking pit me and America against each other. I don't give a shit about America at that point. It was me and you. And I hear all this shit, and what am I supposed to think? I'm supposed to walk out and just being like, oh, wait, I gotta just trust Jared, not the fucking 8 people who are coming to me saying Jared's chirping in their ear. Right. That's why I believe what I believe. Right. Am I wrong? Fucking possibly. It's what the fuck do you want me to do? That's what happened. Right. I'm not fucking playing this surreptitious game trying to fucking get you out of here because, oh, this guy's my closest ally, now it's time for him to go. I'm trying to go after the person who is telling me over and over again the same fucking lies, and then everyone is corroborating those fucking lies to me, and it's hard. That's what this game is. I hear this information from a lot of people, I hear this information from you. For the longest fucking time in the game, I trusted you. Enough was enough. I heard it from Cameron. Jack corroborated the same thing. Then I talked to Matt. Then I talked to America. Then I talked to fucking...
So Matt told you that I was coming after you?
Not that you coming after me, but that you were basically lying to me directly.
What did Matt tell you, since Matt's right here? Matt, you told him that I was lying to him?
When it came to the for real versus the 7 deadly sins, we were both talking about the idea how it was you, Cirie, and Izzy, and...
It's just, like, also, in addition to, like, just realizing that women are humans, when you've
calling America the R word.
Hold on, girl. In addition to just realizing women are humans, when you've apparently been dating the same one for 7 years, he is just running the ableism up. And it's like, eventually, like, this is just who you are. So we've got the R word that people are already pissed about, and now we've got, like, you straight up trying to use Matt's hearing loss to be like, I could just lie.
Yeah.
How are they gonna know?
You just couldn't hear me.
You silly, silly boy.
But he's like, that was a good one. I got him. Like, just stupid. Straight up stupid. Like, I can't... we say this, like, every year. Can you imagine going in the Big Brother house, being on live TV, and saying some stupid shit? I would be so fucking careful with my mouth. I'm already so fucking careful with my mouth. But, like, I can't imagine being on TV and just, like, talking shit about people's abilities without thinking. Crazy. So yeah, he decides not to use the power of veto because he doesn't want his mom to grow up. It is awkward because he has to tell them together because they have a punishment where they're connected. And Felicia, every time Felicia says, like, Jared is my son in the house, it fucking cracks me up. Because she doesn't know that he's actually Cerie's son in real life. And so she's like, I'm hoping that my son in this house will use the power of veto on me, even though it might put my friend at risk. It's funny. Also, side note, my favorite part of the veto comp, it was the competition where they, like, get a prize and they can trade it or keep it, whatever, was that Matt thought he was actually going to get to hang out with Josh Duhamel. Mm-hmm. Because I thought that too, with the way Josh Duhamel explained it. And my husband's over there, like, cracking the fuck up. Like, oh my god, he really thinks he's going to hang out with Josh Duhamel. And I was like, he's not? Yeah. And he's like, obviously, like, Josh Duhamel's not going to hang out in the Big Brother house for a week. And I was like, yeah, I guess. True. But, like, if it were me in that moment and Josh Duhamel was saying it to me, I would have been like, oh my god, I get to hang out with Josh Duhamel. Like, same, Matt. And then he was like, so I really get to hang out with him, right? And they were like, no. Mm-hmm. The worst part was seeing Felicia get so sick, because also same. Mm-hmm. The moment they brought out that competition, I was like, I would forfeit. Mm-hmm. Because my motion sickness is, like, off the charts. So, related to both of those things. Mm-hmm. But after the veto, Izzy and Felicia are obviously still on the block. In the live eviction, Izzy went home, which, like, still has my head reeling. Like, I do not understand, like, why that happened for any reason. She also, as she was exiting, it made it very clear to Cameron that she does not like him. She kind of, like, pushed him in the chest and told him that he was, like, next. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'll be seeing you soon, pig.
Class act.
You said it.
That's okay.
You said it.
That's okay. You too, Pipsqueak. See you soon.
Which, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Give him what he deserves.
Yeah, she was just so hurt and betrayed by Corey. Yeah. And I think that, like, unfortunately, as soon as he heard that Matt knew something from Cirie that he did not, he freaked out, and all of this flipped for him. But I do think that when Izzy told him about the 7 deadly sins, it was because she intended to be loyal to him. Obviously, her primary loyalty is to Cirie and Jared, but I think that, like, she liked them being aligned with Corey. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm, like, pissed Izzy was my favorite, but I also think ultimately Izzy over Felicia was a better game move for most people. Yeah. I am actually quite impressed with America for first getting it into Corey's ear, and then impressed with Corey for making a big game move and getting the house flipped. Unfortunately for Corey, Jared is our new HOH.
Yeah. So I found it interesting, like, watching America, like, confide that feeling about Izzy with Cameron. Yes. Given how she feels about Cameron. But I was thinking, like, I think smart, that, yeah, I think Cameron is such a good game player. Like, that's who she does need to go to. And so I was thinking, like, Corey and America are also going to be really good game players because of, like, their ability to think that way and, like, how they've, like, how this week went down. And I think that they need to eliminate Cameron from the picture because he sucks. But I think that it was smart of her to go to him and kind of get the ball rolling there. But I am sad. Yeah, because I like Izzy a lot.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but this, other than all the, like, just problematic things that are happening, this season has been like, this is what we come to Big Brother for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people you like go home, but it's like they're playing.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the people who we like that go home, because we're supposed to like they're really good game players.
Yeah.
And they should want to get them out.
Yeah. All right.
My husband asked me the other day, he was like, have there ever been somebody who took someone just absolutely stupid to the end to win? And I said, yeah, Derek and Cody. They took the dumbest girl in the house
to the final three. Yeah. I was like, no. Yeah.
But yeah. That's all. Yeah. Should we tell the people what we're doing?
We have a lot more to record tonight, so we got to get going.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bonus episode. Well, bonus episode will be coming later this week for YouTube only.
Yeah.
Meet us there.
Yeah, if you're a listener, you're about to be a watcher.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.